Welcome to the DGTL Growth podcast, where marketing leaders turn playbooks into pipeline. I'm Suze Barnes. Today we're diving into entrepreneurship, content marketing, communications with Sue Anderson, founder of Triumph Communications and Wildwoods Retreat Center, a new retreat for entrepreneurs. Sue, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Suze, thank you so much for having me. This is exciting. I've been looking forward to meeting you.
Yes, I'm very happy to meet you. Tell us a bit about your two businesses now, Triumph Communications and Wildwoods Retreat Center.
Fantastic. One actually caused the other one to happen. So I'll start with Triumph Communications, started back in 2005. I was looking for what can I do from home? This is way before work from home was really a thing. And I had small kids. I was just like, what can I be when I grow up?
Uh-huh.
I'd had a number of jobs, a bunch of degrees. Nothing was really sitting right. I just, nothing really felt like a fit. So I hired a coach and she said, Sue, there's this new thing. It's called the internet. And
Wow.
every business is going to need a website, and every website is going to need words. And you're a fantastic writer. You should write. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I had never thought of that. I figured if you were a writer, you were doing books or magazine articles. And, I kind of didn't want to starve to death. I figured that would be the usual case for book authors. And she said, no, this is a thing. So I started out on guru.com, which is still around, but it's really weird now. And quickly became very busy. I was making about $5,000 a month within just a few months because I did really well there. Became the
Wow.
number one content writer.
Fantastic.
Because they used to rank them like that. And it was like, wow. One day I went to the mailbox and there was a postcard from guru.com that had my face on it. Like they were just doing direct mail and I was on it. I couldn't believe it. It was crazy.
Wow.
But they were promoting, any of their top ranked people. So that went really well. I soon realized though that I'm just one person. I can't possibly do, I have less capacity than what I could, actually from the demand. So it occurred to me, well, maybe I should build an agency. And so I started a course where I taught people how to create exactly the way that I was. Here's how to become a freelance writer. Here are the top 10 projects that clients are asking for. Here's how to write them the way that I write them. And I was able to attract a team of people who started as students, graduated, and became writers on the Triumph Communications team. And that started around 2008, which was wonderful. I had finally, before that, it felt kind of like driving with the foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. Like, you can only go so far, right? So this freed it up and we were able to do wonderful things for clients. We've had clients that have been with us almost since the beginning, which is really amazing. So coming up on, 15, 20 years for some of those clients. And Triumph had its 20th anniversary today. Not today, this year.
Wow.
So
Congratulations.
it was pretty cool. The problem though, I realized at some point, the first 17 years of running that business, I barely went outside. I didn't rest. I didn't play. I had really fallen into the hands of the hustle bros saying, work until you drop. You can sleep when you're dead. If you're not working, what are you doing? And I believed it. There weren't competing voices back then that I was hearing. So I thought, that's problematic, and it definitely paid a price for that in my personal life.
Mm.
Soon after that, though, I had the opportunity to read a book by a guy named Trevor Blake called 3 Simple Steps. And Trevor has built multiple 9-figure businesses. And in his book, he talks about how he works 2 or 3 hours a day. And I'm thinking, yeah, come on, Tim Ferriss. I've heard this before.
Yeah, exactly.
But he said that of that 2 or 3 hours, most of it he was walking in the woods with his dogs. And I thought, that's crazy. But he's a physicist by training and into neuroscience now. And so he was saying that that's where he gets great ideas. And when you've got that great idea, the rest of your work goes really fast. I thought, maybe. So I started trying it. And before long, I was finding I really liked time outdoors. I really liked it. And I was starting to be like a little kid trying to get outside more and more often. Not long after that, I watched this presentation by Frank Kern, one of the old time internet marketers, called the Perfect Average Day exercise. And in this, it's a long video, about 2 hours, but somebody had recommended it and I listened to it. Not long after that, I was on a long car drive and I got, it'll sound crazy, but like basically not audible, but a definite message saying you should build a retreat center for entrepreneurs because they need to be outside. This will help them get great ideas and help them to restore some balance in their lives. And that's when Wildwoods Retreat was born. I came home. This was a solo car ride. I came home. I said, honey, hear me out. Like, how about we sell everything and we move to the Smoky Mountains and build this retreat center for entrepreneurs? And
Wow,
God love them.
amazing.
Here we are. Like,
Wow, not a midlife crisis or anything like
right.
that. Wow, this is super interesting. And you said that you're building it or it's built?
Yeah, we're building it now. We've currently
Okay.
got what we call the Otter Beach Treehouse, which is down by the creek. We're on 30 acres here in Northeast Tennessee. So we've got Otter Beach Treehouse because there's an otter that lives in the creek. And then there's a lot of pasture, and then most of it is wooded hills. And we've just completed building our first geodesic dome, which kind of looks
Oh,
like an igloo, but have you seen those
yeah.
before? Yeah, all
Yeah, I've
right.
seen them. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and we
They're
just
cool.
hosted our very first guest there this past weekend. So that was
Wow,
very exciting.
congratulations.
Thank
Wow,
you. Thank you.
amazing. And did they write a testimonial or fill
Oh,
out a
yeah.
guest book?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've got a guest book and they're going to leave reviews on Google, Google Business for us as
Nice.
well. And yeah, they
Absolutely.
were direct bookings. So I couldn't do the tree house is on Airbnb. So we get reviews
Okay.
that way. But
Oh,
this was direct.
wow. And is there like a minimum length of time to stay or is it just
No,
open?
I recommend at least 2 nights because the first
Mhm.
night you're still, you know, full of dopamine from gadgets and, kind of wound up. And it takes
Yes.
time.
Mhm.
We keep saying and hearing from guests who visited here, they'll say the land heals. So obviously, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I get
Uh-huh.
what they're saying.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
it takes time. It's
Mhm.
not like you can set foot on and be, you know, fully regulated and feel relaxed. But two nights at least is the best.
Wow. And what's the closest airport to?
Knoxville Airport is the largest one. It's about a 90-minute ride. Also, there's the Tri-Cities Airport, TRI for airport codes, and that one's only 45 minutes. And
Okay.
super easy little airport, but you're going through Atlanta or Charlotte.
Well, I wish you much success with that. It sounds like it's a real passion of yours now, and
Yes.
something you feel like maybe you were meant to do. Right? It's like
Yeah.
a
It feels like
calling.
it does. That's exactly the word I use for it. And it
Nice.
would have to be
Mm.
that it is utterly crazy. I'm turning 58 this week. I've never
Wow.
done this before. Like, this is absolutely crazy, but I felt like I had orders, go do it.
Wow. And so you're actually living on the property now, and that's you just everything that
Yeah,
is there now. Hmm.
right. Yeah, it's well, we have kind of a setup here and we own a
Okay.
house not too far away, but we're here a lot.
Okay. Wow. And are you still running your other business at the same time, or is it just?
I am. It has taken a lot of pivots, a lot of changes. First with COVID, mostly who I was serving at Triumph was marketing agencies that were serving local businesses. And during COVID, my clients were fine, their clients were not. So
Uh-huh.
that started to, impact us because, of course, if a business is struggling, one of the first things they tend to cut is their marketing, which
Yeah.
doesn't really
Mhm.
make sense, but it
No.
happened. You know, and then after COVID came AI. So
Yes.
those few clients that were still there were saying, well, wait a second, we can use AI and never have to pay for writing again. And unfortunately, it shows. Like,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of a rebuilding process, having clients that actually want really good writing. So
Hmm. Hmm. I talk about AI a lot on these shows, and a lot of the time people say it's actually more time than less. It doesn't actually
right.
make things more efficient. It's supposed to, but it doesn't actually have that ability yet. Obviously, it depends on who's using it too, but I think we're early days, and still the human connection and the human input, like HI,
Definitely.
is still very important. So
I agree. I do. And I use AI a lot, but not just, right out of the can like it comes.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to make it work for you. Use it as a tool, not as a fix all.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
I noticed on your website you talk about this must be the Triumph one. You talk about content that sucks, and I was initially a little bit shocked by that, and I see that this is how you're positioning your business. Can you tell us a bit more
Yes.
about that, please?
Definitely. So it is, I'm so pleased that you saw that. I love it when people notice it and comment. So content that sucks people in is
Yes,
really
yes.
the full, I feel like the most important thing that content can do is really draw in the right people, repel the ones that you don't want to serve. Every business owner has this memory of a favorite customer or client or patient, and it's been like, oh, if I could have 100 more like that one, I would love it. And that's what we aim to do. So from the stories of, especially when it's a coach or a service, I love working with service providers. They've always got a great origin story. Usually they had a problem that they were dealing with themselves. They found a solution and now they provide that solution for other people. So I want to hear that origin story and work with that and use that as content. Then they've also got usually some sort of a signature process that they use. They've figured out, we do this and then this and then this, problem gone. So I want to hear that story as well, how they came up with that and how it works. And then they've also got stories of serving those favorite clients and customers and patients. And it's like, if we can tell those stories rather than just featuring, how like if you have a testimonial, usually it's kind of like, oh, Suze Barnes is amazing. She's so wonderful. She's so smart. She helped me so much. Yay. And it's like, thanks. but it doesn't really help anybody else determine whether that is somebody they should be working with. And so I like to interview their amazing success stories and tell their story. I feel like that actually pulls people in. So that's my goal with content, is to have people, the right people, leaning in going, oh my gosh, they know me. They know what I need. They've solved this for others, and really suck them into, their orbit essentially, so that they're, ready, willing, and eager to make a buying decision.
Yeah, well, I mean, that page certainly caught my attention and did suck me in. I had to read more and then understand exactly what you were talking about, and it definitely, speaks to how do you capture attention initially and then keep people there, and it's memorable, right? You make an impression very quickly, so yes,
Thank you.
it's really good. How many people do you have on your team at the moment?
Right now, it has shrunk
Yeah.
considerably. So a lot
Okay.
with these pivots, I've been like,
Hmm.
sorry guys, and they've gone off and gotten real jobs, like,
Yeah.
as their family always told them they should, instead of, you can't make a living writing. They did for 15 years or so, but
Hmm.
a lot of them
Hmm.
are gone.
Yeah.
As we expand, we'll be able to, I know that they're eager to come back. So that's a good thing.
Okay. Are there any strategic changes or innovations you're leading now or seeing as trends in content marketing?
Yeah, in
Or,
content marketing,
yeah.
definitely. I think you touched on it before, where it's that
Hmm.
issue of the human touch, the
Yeah.
human
Hmm.
interaction, especially with everybody going with AI. I mean, you can spot it. If you're a writer, you can spot it immediately. Marketers can usually spot it too. And it's it's a, like a band-aid on it's just not going to be a long-term solution. I don't think. I think right now they're like, great, I've got content on my site. Wonderful. But when it's not going to convert, I think that's going to be tough for them because people, I think they can tell when it's not quite right. And so I'm kind of recommending let's go old school. Use the AI, that's great, but let's really dig in and tell the stories, the
Hmm.
things that people have heard on sales calls. That is a beautiful gold mine for, you know, verbiage you can use in your content because
Yeah.
you've talked to real human beings who have real problems and they have,
Hmm.
real questions. Those are
Yeah.
great things to answer. So that's really what the charge that I will lead is let's actually talk to humans and speak and write like humans. I think that that's
Yeah.
going to be
I love
refreshing.
I love the let's go old school. And I think there's still room for AI even when you
Oh
are
yeah.
going old school, right? I mean, maybe it's topics or finding people to talk about or, research different things, not necessarily the writing itself.
Yes, absolutely. And even
Mhm.
some of the strategy and,
Mhm.
and checking how would you one of my favorite tricks is if I've written something like a sales page for somebody or something, an offer. I do some
Mhm.
offer creation with people. And so running, here's what we've got. Okay, you go and poke holes in it. Tell me every
Yeah.
flaw with this plan. And how would you fix it? And then sometimes it's good ideas, sometimes they're not so good. And we've run that over and over until it's
Yeah.
really pretty solid.
Yeah. Pretend you're the recipient of this writing. What objections do you have? Kind of thing, right? And then
Yes,
keep
definitely.
conversation back and forth about that. Yeah. I mean, to improve upon something that's already good,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's see. Are there any innovations that you're looking forward to in either business?
Um, nothing that I can see. I wish I could see around the corner. I really
Mhm.
do.
Yeah.
Like for the writing and marketing, and I don't know. I'm so curious to see what's going to come. For
Yeah.
the retreat center, that I think most of my creativity goes toward that right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just that sense of being off grid. I think it's, a lot of people will say, "Oh yeah, I want that." And then they'll come and they put their phone down, but it's calling to them constantly. And they find themselves like, "Wow, I reach for that thing all the time." I think that this is going to be a really big thing. There's so many voices out there now on social media that are speaking about, you need nature time. There's even a term now, nature deficit disorder. I thought,
Oh, heck.
wow, that's amazing. And neuroscience reports are coming in almost daily where there's, a new report of, go touch grass with your bare feet or,
Mhm.
all different types of things. Forest therapy, being in a sauna, the cold plunge, like in the creek, all the things that are, for me, I'm learning all this. I know that there are
Mhm.
people who know everything about this, but for me, it's fascinating. I'm just starting to learn it. And almost every day, there's something new that I learn about, a native plant here or a different practice that you can do outside to regulate your nervous system and just all of that. So to me, it's all, just brand new and I'm thrilled to be learning it.
Wonderful. Digital detox comes to
Y-
mind.
Yes.
Do you actually like require people to leave their phone or their
No, no, no.
devices
There
anywhere?
yeah, we will offer a lockbox if they would like to lock it up and,
Okay.
we can provide the code anytime they want, but if they, want to have a complete detox, I recommend it. I can't say that I've done it. I've definitely gone lower tech. Um, Definitely have made it that my phone is not glued to me all the time. I've lost my phone at times, and that never used to happen because it was always, in my hand or my pocket. And now I'm like, where
Yeah.
did I
Mhm.
leave that thing? So it's a little
I, I
crazy.
I remember a few years ago. I think it was actually year after COVID. Something. I just decided to turn off notifications, and it was really life changing because I wasn't attached to constantly, and I think I think there's too little of the actually letting it putting it down and not looking at it and we have it with us too much. So
Yes.
I agree. I think, I'm a candidate for the retreat for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think, even my partner might not enjoy it as much because of the
Right. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting how people how
Yeah.
it was is almost an addiction, right?
It's
The
very
device.
much.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of writing about that.
Mhm.
And it's, we can, it's like if you leave the house and you don't have your wallet or you don't have, your bottle of water or something, there are a lot of things where you're like, all right. And you just go do your errands. But
Yeah.
if you realize you've left without your phone, most people will turn around and go get it because
Yeah.
it's just, you can't be without it. I also turned notifications off years ago, and now I'm like, when people have it, I'm like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, notifications." A friend of
Yeah.
mine had recommended, and this is kinda cool, your listeners might benefit from this as well. You can turn your phone to grayscale. It's just in the settings, there depends on the phone, but you can turn it so it's just black, white, and gray. And it's amazing how unfun it is
Mhm.
to use the phone. You're just
Yeah.
like, there's no I think it kinda decreases the dopamine hit that we get.
Yes. Yes,
Uh,
I imagine, and, because everybody has built the apps and put the color in specifically to be attractive, right? To to get you to keep
Absolutely.
coming back and to pay attention, and the little red notification button. I
Yes.
know Waze turned their little app from blue to white, um, on, and I could never find it. It was gone. I was like, "Where is this?"
Yeah.
This took me forever to, like, find it again. I was like, "Well, that wasn't a good move on their part if they want people
Right.
to
I
use
know,
it."
right? Yeah. It's kinda
But
counterproductive for them, but good
yeah,
for us.
yeah, but it was the same thing, right? Black and white it didn't have as much, joy or captivity for
Yes.
us. What's working well for you in your either business that you wanna talk about, and maybe what's been frustrating for you?
The thing that surprised me that is working really well is TikTok. I thought
Oh,
I was like, what 58-year-old is on TikTok? I'm not gonna dance. I'm not gonna do, like I'm like, what do you do? And I had to get tutorials from my kids on, my grown kids on how do you
yeah.
do this, right? But it's fascinating to me because you are always reaching really broad audience there. Whereas, Facebook and Instagram and X and LinkedIn, it's the people that you're already connected to. It's very hard to break out of that bubble and reach anybody new. And on those other sites, it's like people are like, oh, yeah, whatever. She's building this retreat. My gosh, would she stop talking about it? But on TikTok, it's like there's new people every single day who are seeing this.
Mm.
So that's been fascinating to me. And they're, of course, all over the world. And just learning how to use that effectively. I'm still very much learning, but it's going well.
Interesting, and are they all of a certain age, or is it a varied
It varies a lot.
demographic?
Yeah, I ran a fantastic experiment that went really very interestingly. So I'm from Gen X. I was born in 1967. And I thought, this whole retreat center kind of reminds me of my childhood. Our parents would kick us out, go play, get out of the house, come
Yeah.
back before, when the lights come on the street, or maybe come home for dinner if you're not eating
Yeah.
somewhere else,
Yeah.
maybe. And so I thought, this is interesting. And we would go and play in the woods and build forts and bridges and try to, jumping over a creek and just, stuff just outside stuff. And I thought, this is what we do here, but in a little bit more purposeful way. And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
made a TikTok video that I said, and the text on it was something like, any other Gen Xers in your, I just want to move to the woods and build my own world phase. And that thing blew up. And I thought, that's interesting. So all these Gen Xers, so I don't know what year that cuts off, but it's, I think in the 70s, late 70s. And they were there and they were commenting like crazy. It went viral. And I thought, wow. So it gave me a new marketing angle as well. So we're going to have some marketing that's like, hey, come play Gen X,
Y-
live in the woods fantasy. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's sort of a also taps into nostalgia that
yes,
that you're going back to, childhood. It's the same thing about the phones being too omnipresent. My sister talks about her son not having a phone, and he can't not have a phone. It's like, well, we never had phones.
No, I know. If you wanted a
Like
phone, you went up and you picked up the phone and it had the curly wire and you
yeah,
wrapped yourself around it and tried to get away from family so you could have privacy. Or if
yeah,
you were
well,
out, you found a quarter or a dime actually and used a payphone.
yeah, and if you couldn't get a hold, if you were somewhere where there was no phone, you couldn't get a hold of anybody. That was just it. You had to
Yeah.
sort of live your life and figure out your life by yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
that's um,
Definitely.
it's sort of so strange that it's so foreign today that you cannot live without a phone today. It's so
Right.
odd. Let's see. Where do you want to be in 6 to 12 months with your retreat?
With the retreat. So we definitely need funding. This is a
Okay.
$1 million project and we're bootstrapping. So we sold
Hmm.
everything. We're all in. We had some
Okay.
angel investors that helped us start buying the property. And now
Hmm.
we're going to be looking for other investors who want to come alongside. Perhaps, they sponsor a dwelling and get to use it anytime and, gift stays there to their customers as well. And so we have a little plan with that where, let's say it was $100,000 they put in. We build it, we rent it, we take care of it, all that kind of stuff. And we pay them out 25% of rents until they have doubled their money. So it's pretty exciting with that. We're also looking at doing a crowdfunding on Indiegogo in Q1 of 2026.
Okay. Well, I imagine that there might be some like big tech companies that might send employees there for
Ironically, yes.
I mean, all about mental health and,
Yes,
wellness
for
programs.
sure.
So, yeah, I
Yeah,
imagine that's probably something that you'll be looking into. And the other piece
definitely.
that I didn't, we talked about what's working well. What has been frustrating for you?
Yeah. I think the whole thing with the writing business, to be honest, it's been very hard. I have pivoted a number of times with the offer because I thought, well,
Yeah.
it was like doing a Venn diagram of here's what I do well, here's what AI does really well,
Yeah. Hmm.
and trying to find something that I can use AI potentially, for cost for, the clients. It does help to decrease the cost a little bit.
Hmm.
But finding things that would still be really sexy to them that they can't do on their own, and it has been hard.
Yeah.
What I ended up with was basically the core services that I have now require interviews so that I know that I can extract from them the information and the emotion and that resonance
Hmm.
in ways that an AI just can't do right now.
Yeah.
But, being able to communicate that's been a little bit challenging. It's very noisy out there.
Yeah, it seems much more competitive today.
Yeah.
The space that all everywhere. It's just
Yes,
it's
definitely.
someone mentioned, yeah, we can build more content, but now we have more content.
Right, exactly,
Who's
exactly,
gonna consume it, right? It's not
exactly.
like there are more people to consume the same,
Right.
more content. So
Yes.
it's sort of what's the real value of the content? Is it getting people to your site, and then what are they doing there? And so it
Yes.
comes back to the goal.
Right. Will it
Yeah.
convert? I mean,
Yeah.
that's in the end is all the words in the world, but if they don't
Yeah.
convert, you haven't
Mhm.
served anybody.
Yeah, for sure. Who would you love to come to the retreat if you could have anybody? Who would be your favorite guests?
Oh, man, I've got a list going. I actually have a list going. So,
Yeah.
in no particular order, but there's a guy named Zach Bush who is a doctor. He's on Instagram. I've encountered him there. And
Okay.
I love a lot of the things some of the things he says, I'm like, what? But again, I'm learning he's made a profession out of this. So, but I
Oh.
would love to have him come stay. Mark Manson, I just enjoy him. He's the art of not giving an fuck and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Heard of it.
I would enjoy having him here very much.
Mhm.
Trevor Blake, who wrote the book that actually inspired this whole thing, that would be incredible to go for a walk in the woods with him. I just, that would be amazing. So the list is
Wow.
growing. Like,
Yeah. Sounds very, very cool. Have you thought about reaching out to any of these people yet?
yeah,
Or
that's actually in the works. So I
okay.
have somebody
Yeah.
who's helping me with some outreach like that. Because I guess technically, I mean, they're considered influencers. So there's a
Yeah.
whole process you follow, and you don't just
Hmm.
jump out and go, "Hey, come to my place."
Yeah. I assume that you have people on site that can video the story so that you have some
Right.
TikTok
Yes,
content. And yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
great. Wow. Very interesting. What are you doing for marketing in your retreat right now?
Great question. So, my own podcast definitely is
Okay.
very
Yeah.
helpful for that, for
Yeah.
sure.
Hmm.
And I've worked with so many entrepreneurs for so long that I'm in some communities where I'm well known, which really
Okay.
helps.
Yeah.
I'm also working on a book. So
Okay.
a book, and it's called Take a Hike.
Okay. Good. That sounds perfect.
Yeah, and that's writing books has always helped me with whatever it was I was trying to promote. I wrote one for my husband. He used to build custom classic Volkswagens. So
Oh,
that's the nichiest niche ever. But
wow.
the little book that we wrote brought in over $1 million in projects. So it was really cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. And then you get to interview people on the podcast, and that goes into the book. And
Yes,
then yeah, then you're doing your research, and it all fits together.
it does. It's really perfect.
How about podcasts? I know you're a podcaster as well. Do you listen to podcasts? Do you have a favorite podcast?
So I used to be a podcast addict. I used to take very long car drives to visit family, and that was what I would do is just listen. I called it the rolling university, and it was just, constant. I loved them. Some of them I would listen to were business. Some were more just like, there's one called the Memory Palace, and it is so well written that I was like, it's like, ooh, just nice. It's a delicious podcast for a
Oh,
writer to listen to. I loved it. And I would listen to history ones and just anything, because that's what writers do. You want to, just fill the brain with random things because you never know. It's like stocking your pantry. If it's there, you can use it.
yeah.
But now that we're here on the property, I barely leave. And I really thrive listening to nothing but the trees and the
Mhm.
birds. And so to me now, I don't listen to any podcasts unless, sometimes if I've been on one, or going to be on one, I'll listen, I'm just, I'm so, it's such a part of like nervous system regulation to me to have nothing in my ears, just be out there and listening to my thoughts and listening to the leaves and all of that crickets, it's just, it's so good. And it's exactly what I need right now. I'm sure
Yeah.
it'll change at some point and I'll probably be back to listening, but for the most part, nothing in the ears.
As you describe something that sounds like paradise to me. Are you an introvert?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I am too, and I think also somewhat. I'm not sure what the word is, but I hear a lot. Like I hear everything. So all noise is
Yeah.
annoying.
Yes, yes,
So
definitely. Even
being
noise canceling headphones are annoying because it's a
yeah,
noise, right?
yeah, and there's like an air conditioner building right next door, and when it goes off at five ish, it's like a huge relief. It's like my whole body is like, oh,
Yes, you breathe, and I have the same thing, exactly
yeah,
the same, Suze. It's like, just, you know?
yeah. So I imagine, I think I would love that too. I wouldn't mind if I weren't listening to anything else either for a while. But yeah, good to know about the Memory Palace for sure. And I appreciate you mentioning the Trevor Blake, the Three Simple Steps. It's a book. Is that
Yes,
right? Okay.
yes.
Three Simple Steps, and The Perfect Average Day is also a book, or
I don't know of a book
what's it?
on that. It's,
A video?
basically an exercise. I've heard a lot of different people use it, and so the gist of it is you sit and imagine all the details of what would be your perfect average day. So not the day you win the lottery or the day you meet the love of your life, nothing like that, just like your average Tuesday. And what
Mhm.
is it like? And you're going through, Frank was describing how to do it, but he was talking about he had done it. And you end up with a written piece of here is that day. And he had put his aside, and then some time period later, he looked at it and he was like, "Oh my gosh, the details that actually he ended up creating, not referring to the document, but just it happened." And so it was fascinating to see. But so it's quite long. It's about 2 hours plus on the video. It's on YouTube,
Mhm.
easy to find it. But I know that other people have prescribed it. Coaches use it a lot. It's a fairly common concept, but
Yeah.
it just seemed to really work.
Huh. Sounds super interesting. Well, thank you for these great tools that we can all use to improve our lives, find our purpose, and I wish you much success with your retreat and TikTok
Thank you. Who
experience.
knew?
Yeah. Can you tell the listeners how to find you or where to go to find more information about the retreat?
For sure. Wildwoodsretreat.com is the best place.
And do you want to share about your other business too, or no? Is it?
Yeah, sure. You want some writing done by an actual human?
Yeah, there you go.
It's triumphcom.com. So it's triumphcom.
Well, super interesting, and thank you so much for being on the show, Sue. It's a pleasure to meet
Pleasure.
you, and I hope that I get to uh, visit the retreat at some point.
You have a standing invitation, Suze. It would be amazing. I would love to have you here. Thank you so
That would
much
be
for having me. This has been really
you.
fun.
You're most welcome. It was a pleasure chatting with you today.
If I can just pass one piece of advice along, it would
Yes,
be
please.
this. Yes. Prioritize time outside and playing because you really don't have to work your face off. Now is the time. And I think that if you will prioritize that time and go take a walk now and then outside, nothing in your ears, just a quiet walk, I predict that you will have incredible breakthroughs and ideas. Your brain is craving that. It's
Yeah,
okay to do it.
that is huge advice. Really great advice, and I need to be told that every day. so so thank you for that reminder. I'm sure there's many listeners that are in the same situation and would really benefit from taking a break and being outside.
Agreed. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you reaching out, and this was really fun.